Good morning, Willow Springs. I'm Cora Craver.
And I'm Abram Smith.
This is Mr. Washburn's third period class. WSMS News starts now.
It's the return to leopard time tomorrow. No more gym time and no more track time, but it's for the better. We give you the lowdown.
Bump Up Day is a bit different this year, too.
Our basketball teams take on Allen Erickson this week after giving Wiley McMillan a hit last week.
And the Cowboys finally beat Tom Brady, as Dak is too much for the Buccaneers.
This after the kicker misses 4 extra point attempts. We may have a backup here at WSMS. And did we advance against the 49ers?
The protests in Iran against the so-called morality police sparked movements all over the world. A special report with the Willow Springs Connection.
Plus, we talked to the school board member, Marvin Bobo, as we celebrate the School Board Appreciation Month. All this and more coming up on WSMS News.
Welcome back. This is Willow Springs News. Scion, it's not really winter and it's not really spring. How's the weather looking this week?
As you could tell, last week's temperatures were calm and cool. We saw the temperature go down from last week with lows near 40s and the high staying at around the 60s. Today's forecast shows the high being 61 and the low at 37, being the warmest day of this week. It will become a lot cooler with highs in the 50s and lows staying in the 30s. Tomorrow we will experience chilly rain with a near 100% chance, so make sure to bring your jackets. We'll take a look at the recent winter storm that has affected many states. Winter Storm Iggy started off in the southeast, bringing snow to Nevada, Utah, and even Arizona. It moved across the U.S., bringing snow to Nebraska, Colorado, and other states, but it moved upward and brought a significant amount of snow to the northeast. The storm calmed down around Friday night. Last week, we saw numerous tornadoes ravage through Alabama, but we've seen a few more last week as an EF0 tornado touched down in Sacramento County and another 2 in Iowa. Luckily, we haven't been affected by either of these storms. That's it for your weather. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Scion. And now for our top story. Since October, protesters in Iran asked for regime change, while the hardline Revolutionary Guard cracked down harder than ever before since the revolution in 1979.
We have a Willow Springs connection as Natalia Vizcaino talks to her aunt about being married to an Iranian.
Since October, Iranians have been protesting in what has become the biggest challenge to the government in decades. The protesters are demanding the removal of the theocratic Islamic Republic installed the following Islamic Revolution in 1979. Specifically, Iranians are protesting the September killing of Mahsa Amini, a young woman who died mysteriously after being arrested in Tehran for reportedly not wearing her headscarf correctly. Hundreds of protesters have been killed, kidnapped, and tortured, according to many Iranians, some as young as 9. Human rights activists say most of the protesters are as young as adults and teens. I had the opportunity to talk to my mom's sister, who is married to an Iranian. We had to disguise their names for protection. Here is their story. Brenda and Tony live in Georgia, married for 21 years. They used to be able to travel to Iran to see Tony's family. Tony was born in Iran before the revolution during a more modern time.
I left when I was about 8 or 9 years old. I lived some years in England, went to boarding school there. And then I came to the United States and started high school in Atlanta, Georgia. And I've been here ever since.
The Iranian Revolution in 1979 changed everything.
The people cried. There is still a strong sentiment against American interests in Iran and the widespread belief that the United States has taken the profits from Iranian oil.
The Iranian Revolutionary Guard is an arm of strict Islamic law, taking orders from the supreme leader. How have you communicated with those who live in Iran?
We communicate by phone calls, social media tools such as WhatsApp, Instagram, Viber, stuff like that. But right now, it's very difficult because the Iranian government is shutting down the internet.
Tony and his wife, Brenda, dream of days when there was more freedom. They say the crackdowns on the people are horrific.
There's a lot of women that have disappeared. The families haven't heard from them since October. They have been killed by the government, they have been executed, and then those who have been taken by the government and their families don't know.
They arrest people, they're arresting people for no reason. They're kidnapping people. they go to people's houses and just take them.
Do you think you will ever visit Iran again?
Well, absolutely, I would love to. As a matter of fact, if our revolution is successful and we're able to overthrow this barbaric government, we would like to move there.
Absolutely.
Tony and Brenda say the people of Iran don't want rules to change. They want democracy.
We're looking for a complete government change. We want a regime change. If they want democracy, they want a democratic country that not ruled by theocracy or religion. They want a country that separation of church and state like here is supposed to be.
Both Brenda and Tony are very involved using social media to spread the word, but the Iranian people are constantly trying to find ways to circumvent the government. They consider themselves citizen journalists.
On a daily basis, we're posting things on Instagram to just spread the word. Facebook, we talk to people, we tell our neighbors, we're wearing T-shirts that support the cause. We go to every single protest and we try to be their voice because they cannot send the videos out of Iran. The internet's way too slow. So our job here, we're kind of the journalists, spreading the news and sending it to media. We're tagging all the news outlets the media hasn't been covering it. So we are the journalists.
And it's working. The European Union met a few days ago to look at categorizing the Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization.
Can you confirm that? And will you also at the EU designate the Revolutionary Guard Corps as a terrorist organization as the UK?
Nothing is off the table.
The word is spreading all over Europe. Look at what recently happened in Paris at the Eiffel Tower.
Your cry, women, life, freedom, has been heard in every corner of the globe.
It's also worth mentioning that the Iranian government, current Iranian government, is helping Russia in their war efforts in Ukraine.
The United States recently reported that Iran is sending drones to help Russia in Ukraine. And for now, the people in Iran who want what we have in America, just wait. For WSMS News, I'm Natalia Vizcaino.
Thanks, Natalia. Let's hope the people prevail. Our basketball teams are really on a roll. Our 7th grade girls all beat Wiley McMillan by over 30 points.
That's all 3 teams, and we may have a new kicker story ready to step right in for the Cowboys. Right here from WSMS. Here's the latest from our sports crew.
Last week on Thursday, our 8th graders played against Ford. Our 8th grade girls B and C teams won. A team came short 31-28 on the last minutes of the game. All the boys teams won. 7th grade girls played McMillan this week at LHS.
8th grade boys all won against McMillan. A team was a close game where they won in the last few minutes after being behind by 9 points. A good three-pointer got the motivation going. Let's take a look.
Can you tell us about the Thursday night's game against McMillan?
We won. It was very close, 44-39.
What did you do to help encourage your team, and what did you do to help your team win?
We just had good energy, and when we were down, we just kept our heads up.
I think the momentum shifted whenever Matthew Whitfield hit a 3. After that, we got a few stops, and then it just kept on hitting threes.
Brody, Heston, and Ryan, and Zach, they're making a lot of three-pointers and playing good defense, and then the big men were getting rebounds.
On Thursday, 8th grade girls played at the high school. It was a close game for A team. In the last few minutes, they hung on to the lead 23-19. B and C also won. Here's some highlights of the games.
That's what happens if I did that. Get her!
I'm Marley Williamson, and I'm here with Ava Perrin. It was such a close game. How'd you pull through and keep your composure?
It was a tough game, nail-biter. Rebounds is a really big thing in a game. We had a box out. That was good. We had some great shots, very aggressive. I'm proud of the girls tonight.
Good job. I'm Marley Williamson. I'm here with Kenzie Rogers and Kylie Vinsky. How did you keep your composure and pull through as a team at the end?
So we were down in the beginning, but then we kept getting more hype, and we were just continuing to push because you know how much we wanted to win this game.
I think because our coach, she really wanted to beat this team because it was her old team. So I think everyone was hype and ready to win.
I'm Marley Williamson. I'm here with Emerson York. What did you do in particular to pull through as a team at the end?
Well, at the end, it was a really close game. We were up by 3 points, so we had to stay calm and hold the ball, but we also had to get all the defensive rebounds so they couldn't pick it up, and yeah.
I'm Ava Parent here with Coach Davis. Coach Davis, it was a tough team, your former team. How did we persevere through this hard game?
You know, we started off slow, but then we came back, played some really good defense, got some rebounds we've been working on in practice, and we just played better the last 3 quarters.
What did you say during halftime that really motivated the girls?
Let's win. I don't remember what I said.
Next week, 7th graders will be back on Monday. Boys are home against Allen Erickson. Let's hope our 7th and 8th graders can keep up the good work and keep winning.
Last weekend, the boys' Willow Springs wrestling team participated in the 54th St. Mark's Invitation. We had a few individuals receive medals out of a total of 232 wrestlers over various weight classes. 4th place, Brock McKnight, Major Morris, Eli Hart. 3rd place, Will Brownlow. We got the chance to interview Eli Hart.
There were 20 schools. Each school is allowed to bring 2 people per weight class. I placed 4th in the tournament.
Last Monday, the Dallas Cowboys faced off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady came into this game 7-0 versus the Cowboys. He left that game 7-1. The final score was 31-14. The Bucs couldn't handle Dak Prescott's 5-touchdown performance, and the defense was perfect. The only bad part about the game was Brett Maher missing 4 extra points in a row. Here's some footage of the Cowboys looking for a new kicker.
I'm here with Ryan Gafford. How do you think you're going to do today?
Bad.
Okay, thank you. Alex Hansen, how do you think you're going to do today?
As a 5-star kicker who's never kicked a football before, I think I'm going to do pretty good.
All right, thank you.
I've seen better.
Jackson Monday, how do you think you're going to do?
I don't know. We'll just see what happens.
All right, thank you. Here's Braden Buchek. How do you think you're going to do?
I think I'm going to do fine.
All right, thank you. I'm here with Miss Smith. How do you think you're gonna do?
Probably pretty bad. What if I get it? Well, let's try it.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna break my
Scoot over. Go to my phone.
Oh, and then you turn like this. Oh wait, it's not gymnastics.
Carson Branch, how do you think you're gonna do?
Better than Brett Maher.
Okay. What's your decision?
Well, with the first pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys are selecting Mrs. Barbara Smith.
TikTok bans are spreading across college campuses. The latest, UTN Austin.
I wonder if the school districts will follow suit. With those stories and more, here's what's making headline news.
Universal Studios is coming to Frisco, Texas. The mostly kid-friendly theme park is years away, but the city is making plans for it to happen. The proposed site is mostly an empty country field and a dirt road off Toway and Panther Creek Park.
The University of Texas in Austin is the latest state school to ban TikTok on campus. It will block Wi-Fi access to TikTok, the latest in a growing number of states banning TikTok on government device, citing security concerns. They claim the Chinese-owned company tracks users. TikTok denies it.
Its parent company is controlled by the Chinese government, and it gives them the potential to leverage the app in ways that I think should concern us.
Now is the best time to see a green comet for the first time since the Ice Age. Here's how you can do it.
In the Northern Hemisphere, the
The green comet should be visible just before dawn in late January. By January 30th, it will be between the end of the Big Dipper and the North Star. Then in early February, the comet will be visible in the southern hemisphere. The comet is expected to be brightest on January 31st and February 1st. Though the moon will be bright and the comet will be the faintest an object can be seen without optical aid in a very clear, very dark sky. Make sure you're in an area with low light pollution and bring a pair of binoculars or a small telescope.
When we come back, we talk to Marvin Bobo as we celebrate School Board Appreciation Month.
The changes with Leopard Time and how Bump Up Day will be. But first, a commercial break.
A trustee at Lovejoy ISD?
For about 2.5 years. When we moved here in 2005, one of the things that my wife and I promised to each other, we set as a goal for each other is that we would sign up and we would volunteer.
How is the school board working to make a brighter future for the students and have teachers remain working in Lovejoy?
So we are paying attention very carefully to a teacher crisis that's kind of happening in the state of Texas and really across the nation. Not as many teachers are entering the workforce as are leaving the workforce in the state of Texas. So one of the things we're doing is we're focused on teacher pay. It's one of the board priorities. One of the top board priorities is to make sure that we pay our teachers as well as we possibly can. And two, we're advocating for our school district at the state level through our legislative committee.
Knowing that you have been a trustee at Lovejoy for like 3 years now, what changes have you made that positively affected Lovejoy?
I think the best decision we made as a school board was to hire Katie Cordell as our superintendent.
Yes.
So in case you don't know, that's one of the primary responsibilities of the school board is to hire, review, and rate and manage the superintendent. And so we had the opportunity to hire a new superintendent when Mr. Goddard resigned. And so when we did that, we had a lot of candidates to choose from, and we chose Katie Cordell, and that has been an absolute fabulous decision.
Yes. Is there anything else that you would like to add?
I so appreciate Willow Springs and the wonderful way you've treated me over this last couple of weeks. Thank you so much.
Of course, we are so excited to have you as our board trustee, and we're very thankful for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tomorrow marks the return of Leopard Time, but there are some key changes.
After waiting many weeks, Leopard Time will finally be returning tomorrow.
So what's different, we're going to do 4 days a week instead of 3. And 3 of the days are going to be structured to where it is really more about intervention or extension in a class. If you're doing really well, you can work on something above and beyond just to kind of push your knowledge. But it's really going to be a lot more academic based the first 3 days, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then Friday
is a place where you can choose there'll be different clubs and different rooms. There's going to be a study hall room if you just want to study, if you just want to read. Library's going to have games out. Those are the things I know of, so you get to choose those places. But if you don't behave in class or you don't have your work done, that you could be assigned to a study hall to finish your work for the week, like our old Friday night school, or you could get a detention if you're not behaving in the classroom on that Friday as well.
Although returning, Leopard Time 2.0 will be much different from last time because of safety issues. Ms. May and Ms. Perez explain.
Apparently there was some safety issues with some things. Number one, just having so many people outside. They thought it was better.
Speaking of changes, announcements now air on Mondays.
We're still going to show announcements. You guys work really hard on those, and the last thing we want to do is not show those or show them in a way that people don't get to pay attention to them.
Leopard Time might have changed, but the purpose still stays the same, to give students and teachers more freedom in their day. If anyone is wondering, here's the schedule for Leopard Time. Part of C lunch will be added to A and B, so half will go to A and half will go to B. For Tuesdays, English is priority, on Wednesdays, social studies, and on Thursday, math.
Change is always hard, and this is a change for teachers and students, so we're all in this boat together, and we're just trying to do what's best for kids. We want you to be safe, and we want you to learn.
For WSMS News, I'm Natalie O'Donnell,
Alice Lee,
and Reed Boardman.
Bump Up Day is February 3rd, and this year, things are looking a little different. Here's Cora, Chase, and Madison with more.
Bump Up Day is coming up on February 3rd.
This year, it's going to look a little different.
Well, we're just changing the format at Willow Springs to be a little bit more student-led, but basically it's the same, just a little bit of it is different.
Different elective booths will be set up, with individuals from each elective giving a small presentation about it.
At Willow, we are going to do, it's called an electives fair. And so basically all of our electives are going to set up a table. Students are going to be at each table, and we'll be telling our new students that are coming, our rising 7th graders, all about those electives so that they can hear from the students why they should choose different electives that fit their personality and their what they like.
With this new method, each student can learn more about the electives they're interested in.
Our intent is for them to get excited about where they're going. I think they could be a little apprehensive and maybe a little bit nervous about moving up to a new campus. And so I think this just gives them an opportunity to maybe get a little bit more comfortable before they actually start school, because they've been on campus and met people and seen things and know a little bit more about what to expect.
This is Chase Hunke, Cora Craver, and Madison Mejia with WSMS News.
This spring pep rally will also be on Bump Up Day to spread some school spirit to upcoming WSMS students.
Our WSMS Theater has a new production they are working on called The Elephant Graveyard. It is a sad story of a traveling circus and a horrible accident. Also, LHS is performing their production of The Addams Family over the weekend. Congratulations to all of the performers.
That's all for announcements.
Have a good day, and remember,
Leopards roar as one. Roar!